to Cowboys Rewind Bye-Week Edition. I'm Britt Johnson. The Cowboys get a well-deserved break after starting their season 5-1 as the NFL heads into Week 7. Although Week 6 wasn't the prettiest of victories the Cowboys have secured this season, it was still very impressive. The Cowboys' 567 yards on offense were the most yards that Pats head coach Bill Belichick has allowed as a head coach in his 27-year career.
Home of your 5-time world champion Dallas Cowboys.
And 5-1 Dallas Cowboys.
Winners of 5 in a row going into the bye week.
Yeah.
Looking ahead to Minnesota and Denver and Atlanta.
Everybody's nervous. Everybody's nervous.
Take care of those Kansas City Chiefs, and then Thanksgiving turkey against the Raiders. It's going pretty well right now.
You're getting a little ahead of yourself.
I got my tickets. Wow. Right? Yeah, all ready to go. We ready? Got your tickets all ready to go.
Right. That's right. I'll just say this. I got 3 words for you. What a game.
Yes, sir.
Sunday.
Absolutely. I sat there and it finished, and I was going, okay. The Cowboys overcame themselves. They overcame the Patriots. Mm-hmm. They overcame Bill Belichick, and they overcame the officiating.
Wow.
That's how good they are.
That's how good they are. We wouldn't allow ourselves to beat ourselves. I like that, Spags.
I mean, they were trying to beat themselves, right? Time after time after time. 12 penalties, 115 yards. 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, can't make it. 4th and 1, 2 turnovers in the end zone.
Get a pick 6 and then give up a 75-yarder.
Goodness gracious. And they still won. They needed overtime, right?
Miss a field goal, make a field goal.
I mean, think about it. It was one after another, and in overtime they finally score their 30 points, right?
Got it again.
And for symmetry's sake, the last time they won in New England was overtime, Herschel Walker. So why not go overtime again?
Following the game, Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott was seen limping off the field after suffering a calf strain. The bye week truly couldn't have came at a better time.
Yeah, I mean, I think today just showed our resiliency. Time and time again. Defense making plays. Obviously, they came out their first 2 series and got some touchdowns, and for them to dig in, really step up and make plays, for the defense to get an interception return in a moment we need it, for the offense to bite itself in the butt all game long. My turnovers down in the red zone, I'm missing out on points, but just to have the chance to tie the game, to have a chance to go win the game, and just able to do that, I think it just speaks to the resiliency of this bunch and this team and the bond that we've created, and knowing that we're not going to give up, and all we need is a chance, and I think that showed tonight.
Those don't look like Jordans. Can you tell us what?
These are Jordans.
No, the one on your right. The one on your right. Browns.
Might get Jordan to make one of these. Yeah, I mean, something we'll figure out. I figured we weren't playing for a week, so I'd give you guys something to talk about and speculate on this time. So there you go.
Did it happen on the throw, or how could you tell what?
Yeah, the last throw. Yeah, just came down funny, and that's what it was. And as I said, something will get checked out. I'll be fine. Can promise you that. Great timing going into the bye week, but as I said, y'all can have fun with it this week.
So just talk about the emotions of that play. You hit the game winner, you're celebrating, and then you got a pain in your leg.
Yeah, I was like, no way. Life keeps throwing punches, and I'm gonna keep throwing them back. Yeah, I mean, it's part of it. It's part of this game. It's a physical game we play. As I said, I'll be fine. I've got a lot of confidence in myself, the medical team, and as I said, I mean, I feel good. Obviously, this is precaution. But yeah, I mean, just more so thinking about the touchdown. It doesn't hurt as bad, obviously, when you score and you win the game. So all that's a plus, and credit to CD right there, and just the play call. Just for us to get in that moment and to be able to go score and capitalize on that. Great call by Kellen.
What does a win like this mean for y'all?
Yeah, it's huge. Going into the bye week, 5-1? Yeah, it's huge. Five straight now. Obviously started this thing with the road win and then going 3 at home, but be able to come here, a place like this with so much success, great atmosphere, great coach over there on the other side. But for us to just stay resilient through it all, I think it speaks on what Coach McCarthy talks about, just our culture and building the right culture, building a winning culture, and knowing that it takes winning these games. And when everything's against you, we found a way to keep swinging and to come out the win. I think that's important for us. Take this confidence, go into the bye week, get better, work on ourselves, and come out of this thing with this momentum and continue rolling.
Cowboys Nation responds to the uncertainty of Dak's calf strain when we return.
Cowboys Rewind is brought to you by AT&T and by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. This segment is brought to you by Ashley Home Store, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Wide receiver Michael Gallup has been out for some time with a calf injury himself, but no two injuries are exactly the same. What we all can take away from Week 6 is that the Cowboys have some dogs on their team, as three-time Super Bowl champ Darren Woodson would say.
I would say, look, they don't win this game last year. They weren't built to win these type of games last year. This year around, and watching this year's game, they have some dogs on this team. I mean, really do. I didn't hear CeeDee Lamb's name in the first half. Second half, he just turns it up. He takes it to the next level. Dak has so many weapons at his disposal. And we're seeing the maturation process, but not only Dak, but the young guys that are on this football team. The Pollard's coming up, stepping up, making big plays when he has to.
Wilson.
CeeDee Lamb, Wilson. There's just so many guys that you have to cover. And as a defensive player, as I'm watching this offense, I'm thinking, okay, well, if you're Belichick, I'm taking Amari Cooper away. Maybe the first half, he didn't do much, but here comes CD, and then here comes Pollard. There's just and then Wilson. There's just so many guys that you have to Schultz. You get so many guys you have to deal with this offense. And this offense is only gonna get better. Get Lyle back, and they got some guys the offensive linemen who've played while through the injuries and all that. So
there's a
they're
guy named
building
Gallup
depth.
too.
There's a guy named Gallup. We haven't talked about. He hasn't been on the field, but they just have so many weapons offensively that it's going to be hard to stop them if they can play within themselves.
Yeah, I mean, they said it best. I mean, I feel like when you play poorly, and still find a way to win, I mean, that's a sign of a good team. And it doesn't always happen that way. I mean, that team had no business playing with the Cowboys. And that quarterback, he's going to be good down the road, and I think he's in a good spot for it. But that day, Cowboys should have probably won it by 17, 21 points. Yeah. But they didn't. But they still, like you said, I don't think they win last year, a couple years ago. They just didn't feel like a vibe that they were going to win. But they figured it out, and you talk about a lot of depth. They've got all these guys. There's one spot that we don't really know if they've got any depth, and I hope we may have to find out. At quarterback, we don't really know where things stand as we're taping this show from the MRI. But I know there's a lot of breath being held over that side of the building.
Right.
For Dak's calf injury.
He was acting like it wasn't anything. I mean, of course, it's Dak. He's gonna walk out there and be like acting all good and everything. But I mean,
they don't boot up any calf. They'll just say, "I will put a boot on you."
I mean, they want to take the stress off it. I mean, that's just precaution until they have a greater analysis of what's going on. But like I mentioned earlier, Gallup's out with a calf.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy knows what it takes to make it all the way to the Super Bowl and, of course, win it. He shares why he thinks this Cowboys team is so successful so far this season when we return.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley Home Store, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Mike McCarthy became the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys January 7th, 2020. Just a few short months later, the world shut down due to COVID. Mike joins Cowboys Hour this week to discuss how different the pandemic has made the adjustment to a new team and how the Dallas Cowboys have created a winning culture.
No, I'll say this, the Dallas Cowboy fan base is unbelievable. I mean, and you see it right away in our first two away games just to see how everybody travels and it's nice when you're on the road and when your team is being introduced and you get probably as loud or a louder roar than the home team gets. So that part has been great. Have such a great tradition. Everywhere you go, it's reflected, and winning brings out the best in everybody, especially us as an organization. So this is a special place. I feel like we have a special season that we're building. Talked to the team about it. So we're obviously off to a great start. Probably jumping ahead here, Brad. But we broke our season down into thirds, and this first third is we've played 6 really productive football games. So I feel that we are in a spot that we're probably about as good as we could be right now. So obviously we lost the first one, but we played productive that evening. So we got a lot to build off of, and I really like that our bye has come now, and but we have a chance to do something special at a special place.
Well, so and I know that you went to camp thinking you had a good team. You had the possibility of having a good team, but that word "special," you guys know when you see it that this really does have a chance to be something. But how do you know? What have you seen that's told you that, and when did you first see it?
Culture, the vibe, the personality of the locker room, the leadership stepping up. Dak Prescott's unique. Our veteran leadership is we're very high as far as the number of veterans that have excellent leadership ability of all the teams I've been a part of throughout my career. So, and then frankly, we're the 3rd youngest team in the league. So I just really like the chemistry, the combination of the individuals, the personalities, and you could see it coming together in the off season. So Oxnard is a great place to go and grow as a football team. I think there is definitely benefits of having a lighter schedule. You're only allowed to work the players 11 hours as opposed to, I think it was 14, 16 in the past. So, but I think that helps, the group dynamics and developing of it, and the quality of work out there was outstanding. I don't think it rained the whole time we were there. So we were able to get every practice in, and so just everything that you're looking for as you move into the season, it just lined up very well for us.
It's time to give out some flowers when we return. With over a week until the next game against the Minnesota Vikings during Week 8 of the NFL season, Cowboys Nation used this past week to marinate on this big win against the Pats. Oh, and of course, give a player his flowers.
The philosopher poet's third eye blind.
Wow.
They said they're looking for something to get them through this semi-charmed kind of life. How's that for a semi-charmed kind of life? Even when it sucks, the Cowboys still find a way to win. Let's go.
I mean, what an entertaining game. A roller coaster, dare I say. Cowboys get the win.
I don't know if roller coaster even does it justice. Maybe like a Tower of Terror type of situation.
100%.
Like from the very top to the bottom and back again. My God, yeah.
I need some of your takeaways, Dave, because you were there. I was so proud of Cowboys Nation showing up. Coop was making plays. I could hear them cheering for him. Trayvon Diggs has more touchdowns than his brother. Randy Gregory was flying around the field.
Yes.
I mean, Dak had a historic game.
Let's start there.
Literally.
Some people tried to argue with me about this. Dak Prescott, I thought that was one of the finest games of his entire career. And I completely understand that he threw an interception, fumbled a quarterback sneak. Sure. But just against a defense like that, against Bill Belichick, to just find a way to make it work. And it's quintessential Dak. He gets hurt throwing the game-winning touchdown. He doesn't even get to, of course he enjoyed it, but not even to the fullest extent because he's dealing with this Castro. I thought he was nails in this game, man, overcoming all that adversity.
Put some respect on my man's name. I mean, are we done with this argument at all that he's not a top-tier quarterback? Literally, I remember when we had time left on the clock after New England scored, and I said, dare I say that he's a quarterback that you don't want to give him time left in the game?
He is that guy. It does help that he's got some really talented options. How about the CeeDee Lamb game? The best game of his career. I don't think you can even argue with that.
100%.
The game winner, the toe tap touchdown in the back of the end zone, 150 yards. This is what we were talking about in training camp. This is what we were talking about in training camp when we said he was ready to take over.
I have to say, like, CeeDee Lamb was incredible, but I was also just so proud of the guys that stepped up. We talked about this with Bill Belichick. He's going to make you beat him with the guys that are the third and fourth receivers on your team. And Cedric Wilson, whether or not he actually finished it, he actually had himself a nice game overall. I have to give him props.
Cedric Wilson, I doubt you're watching. It's the bye week. You've got better stuff to do. But this is for you, man. I'm giving you your flowers. The stat line doesn't look that amazing, 4 catches, 40 yards, but just the stuff that this guy has done in Michael Gallup's absence, that 4th and 4 catch.
That mattered.
He saved the game. What an amazing effort. And just the versatility. He's scored touchdowns in other games. They haven't missed a beat without Michael Gallup, and that's not a knock on Mike at all. It's a testament to how much depth they have. Cedric, you're going to make more plays this season, but I just want to take the time to say, good on you, man.
This is why it's important to not just look at the stats, because the story can sometimes be much bigger than what you see on paper. Speaking of giving players their flowers, one of the Cowboys position coaches gives one of the guys his flowers. Stay tuned to find out who. Cowboys DB coach Al Harris is a former player himself who is a 2-time Pro Bowler with 21 interceptions under his belt. After coaching Trayvon Diggs during his rookie season last year, he said he is not surprised at all by the numbers that Trayvon's bringing in this season.
Played in the NFL for a long time. You've had some really big interceptions of your own, but I mean, what do you make of what Trayvon's doing right now as a guy that's done that at a high level before?
Well, it's not surprising to me, being that I coached him as a rookie, because if you think about it, he dropped like 5 interceptions last year. So, he still would have had a high number. So nothing surprises me with him as far as getting the ball and the mindset that he has to get the ball. Has a very unique skill set that a lot of guys don't have playing defensive back.
Understanding that, but you get a lot of opportunities to touch the ball playing cornerback, but to be able to cash in on them as consistently as he has.
Right, that's why I say he has a unique skill set, you know what I mean? His ball skills are amazing. I hear a lot of comparisons to guys, just thinking about him, watching him as a first-year guy going into his second year to make the jump that he's had reminds me so much of Marcus Peters. I got a chance to coach Marcus Peters early off, and they're so similar, as far as their ball mindset, getting the ball. You give him the keys, like with Trey, give him his keys, tell him what to expect. He's going to study film also on his own, and the things that we work on, you'll see it on the tape. And he just does a really good job of that.
In addition to traits with guys you've played with or coached that you kind of see in him, that there's an amalgamation of, you see a little bit of other players in him as well?
Yes, that's the one guy that I would say is Marcus Peters. He reminds me so much of Marcus Peters. Passes that other guys may knock down, these guys are getting the ball. They're beating the receivers to the ball. So if I had to compare him to anybody, that's who I would compare him to.
Did Marcus also have a background as a receiver, and have you worked with other guys who had a background as a receiver and switched to DB?
No, Trey's the first guy that I've worked with that they had as a true background at receiver. But the ball skills are just off the charts for both guys. I don't think Marcus was a receiver, but Trayvon definitely, being a former receiver, you would think that he wouldn't be a tough guy or anything like that, but this guy's tough. He'll tackle. He'll do whatever you ask him to do.
What can he still do better?
Pardon me?
What can he still do better?
Well, we can eliminate the explosive plays, which is something we constantly talk about and we constantly work on. So just moving forward, when we get back, that's one of our big emphasis is just to eliminate the explosive plays and, just continue to think about the ball, touching the football.
It is time for this week's Caption That moment. Now, if you would like to be featured on Cowboys Rewind, just make sure that you join Dallas Cowboys United. This is where these Caption That moments come from. Our photo today is this lovely photo. You got to have the rock eyebrow. That's what I love about this photo. This is the caption that actually won this week for the best caption. It says, "That look you give the haters after winning 5 in a row with no chance of slowing down." I love that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Enjoy your bye weekend. I'm Britt Johnson, and I'll see y'all next time.
Cowboys Rewind was brought to you by AT&T, SWBC Mortgage. Join the more than 120,000 customers that we've helped to find their happier way home. Visit SWBCMortgage.com to find a pro today. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.